I like how this has just been a common trend. Just zip tie everything in place until you can get the right shit. Remember kids, OSHA loves whenever you drill towards yourself. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing great, how are you?
That's fucking awesome, Rivers.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Woo!
Woo! What is going on, guys? Today is the day we are finally putting the fuel system in the 67 Coyote Swapped Camaro. As you guys see, I've got some fuel line here. I've also got some more at the bottom of my cart over here. Got our fuel regulator, got our inline fuel filter that I'm gonna mount underneath the car. And this fuel tank is actually really awesome. The reason why is this is an OEM fuel tank. So this is actually gonna go in the OEM spot where the typical fuel tank would have came. But I think the coolest part about this fuel tank is that it utilizes the factory fill system, which is an interesting one. It is not a gas cap like you're probably expecting, but rather on this car, the gas cap is right there.
Girl, that's a booty hole.
But anyways, guys, we're gonna go ahead and jump into getting started installing the fuel system and everything. This is like one of the last things that I need to do, period, underneath the car, so I'm pretty pumped about it. But before we get into the video, you know I gotta plug the Hellcat. Guys, we are giving away a 2020 wide body Hellcat Challenge. This wide body Hellcat Challenger. It's got a manual transmission. It's an F8 green. We got Vossen wheels on here. Only 4,000 miles on this car. It is extremely hard to come by, and it's a 2020. If you guys want to get entered in to win this car, it is super simple. Just go to itsjustasix.com, where every dollar spent is going to get you automatically entered in to win this thing. You don't have to count up your entries. You don't have to do anything. It automatically counts them, tallies them, and also, if you're under the age of 18 and you still want to get entered in and win and still want to win the car, we now have a rule set up for this giveaway moving forward that if you're under 18, your parent will be the one that can actually claim the car for you if you win. Go grab your entries, guys. This car is not going to be here much longer. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this video getting stuff put on the 67. I am pumped. All right, so if we look at this fuel tank, what we see, it's obviously we've got our fuel lines going directly in the center of the fuel tank. So I need to go under here. Step one is going to be pretty much measuring where I need to route lines from. So I'm going to go ahead and use this point right here as a reference. So we got 2 feet here. So 2, so another 2, so 4 plus 6 or so. So let's say 10 feet of line is what our first cut needs to be able to route our first run of line. So we'll go ahead, stretch this out to 10 feet. The next thing I need to do is install our AN fitting. So we'll pop our sleeve back like that. So now I'm just gonna tighten this thing down. All right, guys, so there we go. We've got one 10-foot long line with both of our fittings on it. As you guys see, this 45 is now gonna 45 straight down and out of the way, and we'll be able to route this over to our fuel filter. All right, so we got our first line zip tied up, pretty much mocked up into place. And I get some light under here, I'm so sorry. I know it is a little bit dark. But anyways, check it out. First line is zip tied up here in place. So I can grab the rest of our line here and start routing it through where I wanna put it. I'm not exactly sure still, man. I guess we can route it up here. This is a good spot to zip tie to again. So we can route our hose down here. Don't want to just attach that at the bottom like that, but damn, I don't know where else to put it. Hey, actually I like that. That's not bad. Okay, so yeah, looking at this diagram, we'll have a Y after our filter like that, going to each fuel rail, and then after each fuel rail we'll come in one fuel rail here, one fuel rail here, and then we'll have our return going straight down. Okay, cool. Sorry guys, this is a little bit hard to record because I'm just kind of thinking and brainstorming as I go. Most of the time whenever I record videos, I'll have like a lot of thought done, and doing this kind of stuff is more just brainstorming than anything. I feel like figuring out where stuff needs to go or where it can go or where it can't go and shit like that. All right, so coming out of right here, that would mean that we would be about here. Another fitting down, we got a straight fitting mounted here. So now I can attach our fuel filter. Yep, I can definitely live with that. Okay, so now I'm going to grab 2 more zip ties. Zip tie one loop at the bottom, And another loop at the top. Zip tie through both loops. All right, so this is definitely rough. Everything's just zip tied up in place. I don't have any, you know, like any hose management or anything yet. But we've got our lines already ran from the tank now up to the fuel filter. So I can go from the fuel filter here up to the Y block that I was talking about. So we're gonna have to cut a little small piece here. Might as well use this piece. I've already got a straight fitting on it. If we mount our Y block somewhere about right here, then I can cut right about here. All right, so I'm gonna use my tool here to open up our line. I'm gonna take our fitting here off of the back of our Y, and same thing, we're gonna slide our socket portion. All right guys, there we go. Yet another straight AN line here. I can now tighten down our back fitting back here. So just like that, that's where our Y block is probably gonna mount. I'm gonna go ahead and grab our return line, which this one's not gonna be long enough, so I'm gonna grab this brand new pack here. So now our return line is gonna run right alongside our feed line, right? So since those are gonna be routed the exact same way, I'm gonna go ahead and do that while we've got the car up in the air. This one's just gonna get zip tied right alongside it. One thing I hate about fuel lines is getting stabbed with all of these fucking stainless points. Oh nice, we got some blood. All right, slip our collar over. Ow, dude, this little all right, we got our 90 here. The zip ties that I used for this other line, I can route our zip tie through like that. So that way they're held in the exact same spot. I'm doing this for mock-up purposes. The reason it's important to have them in the exact same spot is because that's where I know that we're going to be able to attach them in these lines. Once they're cut to that length, and you don't want any slack if you don't have to have any. It's really hard to figure out what to do with it because it all bundles up like this instead of tucking away real nice. You got to have it straight, so don't smack the car, please. Thank you. And then we can route both of these lines tucked up into this channel right here, and we'll get those mounted real nice out of the way. Y block to each fuel rail. It's going to go perfect right there. And we've got our entire return line here. And then we'll try and feed that up that way. So we're pretty much done underneath the car for now, at least. So I'm gonna lower the car down real quick and look up top towards the fuel rail area, and we'll figure out how we're gonna route lines up there. Inside of the engine bay, here's the line that I just fed up. So I'll pull this all the way through and just leave it dangling out here for now. So here in a second, whenever we mount the fuel pressure regulator, this is gonna be the line that connects to the bottom of it. So that's actually probably gonna be my next task, is figuring out where to mount the fuel pressure regulator. I was thinking about somewhere right along in this area here. It'll definitely clear the hood right here, and that spot really doesn't look too bad at all. The place that I'm at now though is that I'm realizing that I might actually change things up. And the reason why is because I'm trying to make the engine bay look as clean as possible, and I think that I'm gonna do it different. As you guys see, we've got our intake manifold right here. Planning on, let me turn this light off. Is this too bright? So I was gonna do a Y block, like I said, going from one line going to the back of that fuel rail, and one line off that Y block going to that fuel rail at the back. Then I was gonna take this line coming out and this line coming out, wire them back together, bring them both somehow back to that regulator back there, and then the return going down. But the problem is that leaves you with a bundle of not 1, 2, 3, but 4 lines all right here in this area. And so I'm just not sure if I want to do it that way or not. The way that I've typically done it before, which I might do again on this car, is have one feed line coming up, feeding into the back of the rail here. Fuel runs through the rail and then crosses over to this other rail, goes back, and then returns to our regulator, and then returns back to the pump. Well, not the pump, but the tank. But anyway, what that does is it helps because we only would have one line coming up, crossing over, and then one line going down. So instead of having 5, we would only have about 2, or well, actually technically 3 if you're considering the return line going down. So I'm really liking that idea, actually. Let me change some stuff up real quick. All right guys, so check it out. Like I said, we changed up a few things from our fuel rails now up front. Instead of having those little loops that loop back and we have twin lines following the fuel rails back, we did a little bit different. So now we've just got this one little loop right here that goes from fuel rail to fuel rail and just kind of follows right there. Pretty nice and simple. And once we plug up everything, it'll blend in pretty perfect. So now back here, one side of this is gonna have to be a fuel supply, and one of these is gonna have to be a fuel return to go to our regulator. I'm probably gonna just go ahead and pick this one to be our fuel return to the regulator, and then we'll have one loop about, actually, hey. I'm a fucked up piece. I love making mistakes. It works out sometimes. I could almost do a straight out of that, but I'll probably do a 90 or a 45 still. Yeah, I'm gonna probably do a 45 and just Nicky!
Oh, hello,
Hello, mate.
There's the front door. There's a lot of elevation here. The driveway's fine. That's not bad to get up to. But this would be an absolute pain in the dick trying to get furniture in here.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I was like, what's wrong with that? But then, all right, I appreciate it. Daniel's gonna go grab his riv nut tool so that way we can riv nut our regulator onto the spot where we need to. Speaking of, this is our return line that runs all the way back to the fuel tank. And I'm just gonna tighten this down a tiny bit by hand just so we can make sure it's fitting all nice and snug. So now I'm marked for our feed line. So I can go ahead and cut this. What up, dude?
Good.
How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing great. How are you?
That's fucking awesome, Rivers.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Woo!
Woo! Yay!
Oh.
Pieces of ratchet.
Got our riv nut tool. Oh shit. Will she even fucking fit in here, guys? Yep.
Here, let me hold one of those sides.
Wait. Oh,
you got it.
wait. That shouldn't have done that. Oh, fuck, it did. It ripped out the threads. Only the first little few.
I got a long bolt, luckily.
It's a little loose, but it'll hold. Hole number 2. Riv nuts in. So now we can mount our regulator up here in place. So technically, that is a freaking assembled fuel system. I just definitely got to get everything routed a little bit nicer and get hose management done properly and all of that good stuff. But so far, not too bad, not too shabby at all. So like I said, we've got our feed line running up over here to the back of the driver's side, and we changed it up a little bit. So now we've got it coming into the driver's side in the rear, coming around, looping over to the passenger side, going back to the regulator, and then returning all the way back to the fuel tank. So that is perfect, which means that we are finally, after a few hours, we're done in the engine bay. So let's go back onto the car. Put straps on the bottom, or rubber isolators on the bottom.
It's the same size hole.
I know, it was like, I know. I literally just saw that on accident and I was like, hey, I'm gonna mount the radiator real quick before I put the car back up in the air. Remember kids, OSHA loves whenever you drill towards yourself. Ring ding ding, we have a winner. All right, check it out. That is a freaking really firmly mounted radiator. That's gonna be bad, yeah? So now I've got the outlet and the return to finish up and hook up. Both of those are down here. The return has a 90 on it because we have to fit it right here. So I remember that I put a 90 on that one. And our outlet, which is going to feed towards the fuel rails, has a 45 on it right here. So I can go ahead and try my absolute best here. I'm gonna try to get these routed up into place. I think I'm gonna try and use this trans jack, and yeah, that should work pretty well. All right, got strap number 1 in place.
What? There's no way that gets all the way up there. Like in the video, it's tucked up inside there, but it's still just like, these are too short.
Well, that sucks because these are the OEM ones. So after a little bit of research, we found out that I need carriage bolts, like 3/8 inch carriage bolts to go where the gas tank straps go up the top. And so we're just gonna zip tie this. I like how this has just been a common trend. Just zip tie everything in place until you can get the right shit, but that's what we're doing again. Check it out. Uh-oh. Oh, I finally figured out the right thread pitch for the bolts that we need for the front of the drive shaft yoke up here. So the next thing that we're gonna be doing, hopefully, is getting these bolts put in at the front of the drive shaft, getting the exhaust put back on, wrapping up our tank straps back here, tightening all of that down. The fuel lines are already ran, so I need to pull this down one last time to run a few leads off of the fuel pump, positive and negative, and also the fuel sending unit, just so I can have a pigtail. Convenient enough, there's literally a little hole right here where I'm gonna run our harness up through, so that's pretty sick. After that, the bottom of the car is gonna be complete. Like, I don't even know what to say. This is nuts. This is really freaking crazy. And now radiator's mounted up in place. So I guess at this point, I gotta pick back up as soon as I get my new hardware and all of that stuff for the drive shaft and the fuel tank. we'll finish up that and go from there. This is actually coming along really freaking great, dude. Damn, it's already 5. Holy shit, time flies when you're having fun. Boom, snap, crackle, pop. We're in. We'll route clutch line up to the moon, out that way, and then we got to connect the top of this. You guys are not going to be able to see this for anything. I can't even really see this, so I know the camera is just not feeling for dreams at this point. Snap, yeah, let's go. I really should have checked to make sure that that fitting was tight before just sending it up into place, but we'll do our best to hope that it was tightened down by me before. All right, clutch line is in down bottom. Oh wait, I forgot I was supposed to take pictures. Shit. Sloth squat. Dude, I'm fucking lit. Let's go. I am done with the fuel system. I just got to put injectors in, put power to this thing, and we're good to go. Like, we could be cycling fuel right now. I don't know what to do next. I need to order a water pump pulley, a 4-bolt water pump pulley for a Mustang. I need to write that down. 4-bolt water pump pulley Mustang. Dude, I don't even know if I have anything else to do at this point. I'm waiting on engine harness, so can't hook that up yet. I finally got our factory gas pedal out today because I had to get to behind the fire. Oh yeah, what am I doing? I forgot the clutch line. I got electric power steering, which I gotta wait on. Old fuel pump, which I'm not gonna use on this project. We'll save that for an LS swap, something with boost. The thing makes 1,500 horsepower and an inline pump. Whenever we put our exhaust back in, I gotta throw our O2 sensors in, but I can't do that yet. Can't put our, I mean, I guess I could mount our gas pedal, but not really, yeah. I'm anxious, man. I want to keep fucking going. All right, guys. Well, I guess we're at a stopping point at this very second. We'll grab some more bolts. We'll get some more hardware. Wait on some more packages to come in. We'll see you guys in just a second.